But I think, we look at online, we look at all these people, lifting cars up, taking care of 12 children or managing 10 offices. And you're thinking, we compare ourselves to these other people. Meanwhile, when you start looking introspectively and start thinking, what can I do with the next action, my next thought? And then I believe in celebrating early. Instead of waiting until someone loses the 30 pounds, celebrate having the apple instead of the apple fritter. Celebrate having a glass of water instead of maybe that second glass of beer. And then you can celebrate all day long. You can celebrate all day long if you're looking at steps, continually moving steps with purpose. I could have 17 celebrations today instead of thinking, I'm not quite at my 20-pound weight loss yet. I made 20 mindful decisions to eat with intention. I can celebrate doing that at lunch today instead of having, one more bite. You know what? I'm going to put it back in the Tupperware. I'll have it later. Celebration, and I'm living on purpose. I don't have to wait until that magical weight loss. I can celebrate every conscious decision, being purposeful, taking care of my body.
Welcome to another episode of The Irreplaceable Dental Assistant. I always have a treat for you, but I am bringing back sugar. When something is good, you always go back for seconds. And today I have with you Dr. Uche. Dr. Uche, welcome. My favorite Canadian or American.
You're funny. No,
loves Jamaica.
Hey, I love it. I love sharing. I think the whole team is such an important part of growing together, is having the whole team have work-life balance. And that's our subject. It's work-life balance. And my passion is inspiring people to take their own health and wellness and their cognitive mind and spirituality to the next level. So I am ready.
Awesome, Dr. Uche. But before you delve down into your subject, give us a little more about you. Who are you? There are those who saw you the last time. There are those who are visiting with us for the very first time.
Okay, so I'm a practicing dentist. I've been a dentist for over 25 years. I'm also certified as a trainer. I'm also a certified nutritionist, yoga instructor, boot camp instructor. I'm a professional member of the American College of Sports Medicine. I've competed in bodybuilding and weightlifting competitions 20 times from the age of 20 till about 28. I still work out most days. I do yoga twice a week. I'm a voracious reader. I've spoken in 7 countries, and I've spoken almost 700 times since 2005. So I really do love chairside, but equal to my passion chairside is invigorating audiences in the dental industry about the mouth-body connection, nutrition, ergonomics, and the oral systemic link.
Okay. Wow. How many hours are there in your day, Dr. Uche? Because I don't have that much and I can't find the time to do what I need to do. That is wonderful. Thank you for sharing the many aspects. Because many times people pigeonhole us. Oh, he is a this or he is a that, when we're truly multifaceted. So thank you for sharing all of that. We may not be able to do all of those things, but it's encouraging us to realize that there are many things that we can do and do well, right? So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, exactly. I think many times, you're on a plane, the person next to you asks you, the second question is, what do you do? And I think what we do is only part of who we are. I know being an assistant, being a hygienist, dentist is very important, obviously. However, I am a human being. I'm a Canadian. I'm a man. I'm a dad. I'm an athlete. I do philanthropy. I'm a voracious reader. And that's why I think when you have many slashes after your name, whether it's athlete, dad, reader, writer, if there's any one point that you can't do one of them or you retire, you have all these other identities. And I think that's what makes a lot of times professionals such a stressful part of our lives, because the minute you retire or the minute you get hurt or the minute you can't do what you do, we think, where's my life go? Hey, how about the other 5 or 6 things that are equally important to you other than, what you do for a living?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. And I love that, because this gives us the opportunity now to delve into this work-life balance, the good, the bad, And the ugly. So I have a question for you, Dr. Uche. How can we effectively prioritize our work and personal life? How do we do that?
Yeah, that is a challenge. I think Eckhart Tolle wrote a book called Oneness with All Life and the Power of Now. He talks about being present. So a lot of us have challenges because when we're at work, we're thinking, oh, I should spend a bit more time with at home. And then we're at home, oh, you know what? I could probably put a few more hours in. So many of us are never where we should be, So the whole idea is anytime you're thinking of being somewhere else, there's going to be, not necessarily say a lack of balance, but there's going to be like a dissonance. And that dissonance elevates cortisol. And believe it or not, there's physiological and hormonal effects about that. The more we're present, the more we can tie in to everything of who we are. And then we can put all our resources into that present moment rather than be distracted by, oh, I should be at home, I should be working out, I should be sleeping, I should go for a walk. So being present, I think, really cuts that challenge off right at the trunk. And that's what I try and do. Be focused. So right now, I'm with you 100%.
You know why that's such a salient point? Because in today's day, I'm talking to you, but you can't see that I'm scrolling on this. And and maybe I've moved from scrolling to this to checking an email, and I'm still having this conversation. So in any given moment in today's day, we are intentionally distracted and being pulled back to that center where this is the focus in this moment. And then when I'm finished, then that will be the focus in that moment. It's so important to be able to say that I can pull myself here to do this. Probably a lot less stressful, a lot less taxing. And it's just that we've just fallen into that and not really thought it through while we are seldom fully present. But thank you for reminding us of that. Now, how can we avoid burnout and maintain a healthy work-life balance?
Well, I think many of us, we've put more focus on our tools and our equipment than on our bodies. A dentist will get a new iTero scanning machine. An assistant has a new product to work with. A hygienist gets a new Cavitron. And we put so much energy into taking care of our products and our electronics and our 3D printers and everything else. However, I always say the most expensive piece of equipment in that dental office is your physical body. It's irreplaceable. A new hip, $50,000 in America. A set of lungs, as you have cystic fibrosis, $500,000. So that being said, your iTero might be, $40,000. Your digital panelips might be $95,000 in the US. But our body parts, and we can replace them. Of course, there are some implants, obviously, and all the other things like dental implants. However, when we start seeing ourselves as the most important tool we have, we will start treating with more reverence. And reverence makes you feed it a bit better. Reverence makes you maybe push away and not go through the drive-through one more time. So developing a reverence and putting the body into a higher pedestal. There's nothing wrong with having that body seem like this is my temple, if you want to take a look at it in spiritual terms. It is our most important piece of equipment, for sure, bar none.
I agree with that 150%. And again, today's world has us so drilled down to material things that we forget about the most important tool that we use, which is the temple that houses our soul and everything else that makes us who we are. So what can we do to manage the stress caused by that work-life balance?
Well, a big part of that is managing your energy. I think if people have higher energy, you always have more to give. And if you manage your energy, you will actually have a bigger bucket to pour from. Your coffee cup will be bigger. Your phone will have more gigabytes. You'll have 1 terabyte in your body. And the more you're able to take care of that, and the more energy you have, the more you'll be able to help. And I've read if we have a lot of patients, clients, family, and friends, and people to depend on us, those who have more energy don't feel as depleted.
That's true.
So if someone's depleted in energy, they're the ones that are really sacrificing everything. And it can do it honorably, but there's no nobility in driving yourself into the ground. And that's why, Sir Stephen Covey of 7 Habits of Highly Successful People talked about, sharpening the saw. And in financial terms, paying yourself first. The visa is important, pay yourself first, pay off the debt, pay into your retirement fund. So I think building energy into our bodies, and there's many ways to do that. We can keep talking about that, but the more energy we have, the easier it is to do all our roles and do them elegantly and with grace and satisfaction and fulfillment.
Wow. Give me a moment to just take that in, because that is so true. So true. Now, how can we enhance our productivity without sacrificing time for personal activities, Dr. Uche?
Well, if you're fully rested, and you'd be surprised how many, everyone knows sleep is good for you. I don't know anyone that says less sleep is better for you. People talk about getting by on less. People brag about doing 3, 4, 5 hours. People talk about doing an all-nighter. But really, the neuroscience is in. They said human beings need 7 to 9 hours a night unless they have the gene BHLHE41. And it's so rare. They said basically everyone needs at least 7 good hours of sleep. And it's not just time in bed. It's time to sleep. Some people go to bed at 11, get up at 6 and think, oh, I got 7 hours. But if it takes you 30 minutes to get to sleep and you wake up once in the night for 30 minutes, you actually got 6 hours, not 7. So if someone's fully rested, they can have all their pistons firing, both half their brains firing. They've quietened down their amygdala. The amygdala is a very primitive part of your brain. Anytime we're not sleeping well, our amygdala or our reptilian brain is highly charged. We're more likely to fly off the handle. We're more likely to lose our temper and lose our patience. And that doesn't lead to productivity. No one looks up to someone who's losing their patience. So that whole ability to stay calm in the eye of the storm can happen better if someone's getting at least minimum 7 hours. And who's getting that? They're actually saying about 30% of adults get 7 hours sleep. Only 30%. So 70% of our patients, 70% of dentists, hygienists, assistants aren't getting the recommended. So they are more reactive. They do fly off the cuff. They don't have access. Their amygdala is more right under the radar, right away, ready to snap at someone. And then you don't have all hands on deck to be able to deal with the challenge with the patient, admin, your children, your sister, your brother, your friends.
Right. Simple solutions, if we just put them in place, would make such a big difference. I can really appreciate that. So are there any practical time management techniques that can help us to maintain that balance, Dr. Uche?
Yeah, I know. I used to think time management was important. And then someone said, if you're living your life on purpose. So my living life on purpose could be as simple as having a glass of water, putting a yoga mat in my car, showing my assistant appreciation, spending a little bit more time polishing that composite filling, leaving work on time so I can meet my friend for coffee. So purposeful means putting relationships first. And at that time, I'm managing it well. I think trying to have check marks and getting stuff done, they'll never be done. Like those boxes will never be done. But if I'm focused on living on purpose, right now I'm sharing with you and your audience thing that I love, my dental industry colleagues, I love that. So I'm living life on purpose. Is it a checkbox? A checkbox makes it into a commodity. And I think, I can get a little bit esoteric here, but I'm putting all of me in it. My mind, body, my spirit, my soul, my family, my mom's teachings who's passed away, my dad whose teachings passed away. So time management almost loses importance as much as being purposeful with this conversation and looking forward to talking to you today and knowing what I'm sharing is going to fall on, fertile ground and someone will take action on something for midnight tonight. I think that's a true sign that learning has happened and wisdom happens when someone learns something new and then by the time the day is over, someone has applied it differently. And I think that is more transformational than transactional. I think time management is transactional. I believe in transformational. Transformation is purposeful conversations, intentional conversations with meaning, about positive things, looking forward. And that's what you lose that commodity sense of, another check mark. Is that making sense? Is that?
Absolutely. Okay. But it's such a different way of thinking. And again, not impossible to do, but we're so hurriedly allowing the day to take us where it needs to take us rather than being, as you say, purposeful about what we're going to do, where we're going to do it, and how we're going to do it. I thank you for that, because sometimes we know it, but we just kind of miss it because we don't take control. We get out there and the day just happens. So thanks for reminding us of that, because only 24 hours in a day. Choose how you want your day to unfold, and you're more likely to manage that time. You're more likely to get what you need to get done just by being, as you say, purposeful.
Yeah. But I think, we look at online, we look at all these people, lifting cars up, taking care of 12 children or managing 10 offices, and looking at someone balance on one hand. And you think, oh my God, look at this person, look at Tiger Woods, look at this, look at that. And you're thinking, we compare ourselves to these other people. Meanwhile, when you start looking introspectively and start thinking, what can I do with it, with the next action, my next thought? And then I believe in celebrating early. Instead of waiting until someone loses the 30 pounds, celebrate having the apple instead of the apple fritter. Celebrate having a glass of water instead of maybe that second glass of beer. And then you can celebrate all day long. You can celebrate all day long if you're looking at steps, continually moving steps with purpose. I can have 17 celebrations today instead of thinking, oh, I'm not quite at my 20-pound weight loss yet. I made 20 mindful decisions to eat with intention. There's a concept in Okinawans in Japan. It's called a Hare Hachibu, and it's eating until you're 80% full. Don't eat until you're 100% full. Eat until you're 80% full. I can celebrate doing that at lunch today. Instead of having, one more bite, you know what? I'm going to put it back in the Tupperware. I'll have it later. Celebration, and I'm living on purpose. I don't have to wait until that magical weight loss. I can celebrate every conscious decision, being purposeful, taking care of my body.
Having been in dentistry for so long and having this mindset about wellness in its entirety, is there one point that you would like to drill down to dental teams today, Dr. Uche, about the work-life balance?
Interesting. There's different ways you can look at that. I think many of us are outer focus, but I often look at patients, and many of them are living their lives of warning for me or example. I see an 85-year-old woman or man. He's taking care of himself. There's no food in his mouth, becomes very filling. He's listening to my instructions. He gets up out of the chair easily, and I'm thinking, wow. Can I ask you a question, sir? Do you walk every day? And he says, I walk every day. I'm saying, wow, living life by example. And then I see someone not doing so well. Without judgment, I'm thinking of that's the life of warning. Without judgment. And I'm thinking, wow, I need to take care of that area in my life. So there's so many different ways we could learn with every patient. It's not, I have a root canal right away, or then I have a cleaning. Every patient, we can actually get insight into how life works. Every patient lives a life of warning or example. And am I living a life of warning, for example, for my assistant? My assistant think, wow, Dr. Odiatu takes time to have a glass of water. He said he was thirsty and he went to get a glass of water. So that was an example for her instead of a warning. Or I don't take a glass of water. My breath may be stagnant, or I'm looking tired. Now it's a warning for my assistant. So many of us can look at outside people for information as, is that person living a life of warning or example? And then what can I learn from that?
It all ties back to being present. Because if you're not present, you're not observing these things. You're just rolling them in and rolling them out. So thank you for just allowing us to pause and concentrate. Before I end my podcast, I always ask my guests if there is a special quote that they'd like to share with my viewers and listeners. Can you share something with us like that, Dr. Uche?
Sure. It's slightly paraphrased, but I've kind of made it my own. I really believe that each of us, all of us, no matter where we are in this journey of life, we're doing the very best we can in this moment. And what we need to think about, though, is I can actually do better when I learn more, and then I can do better. So we're doing the best we can, give myself some grace. And when I learn more, the next book maybe, or learn more, the next conversation, I want to be able to do better. That gives me grace. It lets me feel I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And my next book, in my next conversation, I'll glean some wisdom, and then I can use that in my next conversation. So we're doing the best we can. And when we know more, we can actually act on that and do better.
Dr. Uche, this has been such an eye-opening, refreshing glass of information today. I have to ask you one question, and that question is, will you come back and share with us at another time? Because this was so timely today. We're moving to the holidays when everybody's in overdrive, and something like this allows us to exhale, to be present, to be purposeful, to be balanced, and to live life as it was meant to be lived. Will you consider coming back another time and sharing?
Oh, for sure. I'll come back virtually, obviously, anytime. I think it's hard to believe it's been almost a year, but I'll be in Jamaica in person. I'll be there in February for the annual national convention. I'll be there doing a half-day program lecture, and then also be doing a live workshop and it's going to be a gentle exercise. Most people think it's a CrossFit, heavy sweating and like a Navy SEAL Hell Week, but I'll be doing a gentle hour for beginner to intermediate, how to stretch and move the body elegantly with ease so we can have effortless movement and transformational movement.
So looking forward to it. So looking forward to it, my Janadian friend. Dr. Uche Odiatu is quite the wordsmith. I have a question for you. Were you present? Were you fully engaged in listening to this wonderful discussion? It's so important to be present. Let's do our best to avoid burnout by focusing more on our bodies rather than maintaining the equipment around us. That may be dental equipment, that may be a car. Nothing is more important than our irreplaceable bodies. We need to treat our bodies with reverence, and we need to respect our tempo. When energy comes in, fatigue, impatience, irritation walks out. Managing your energy is such a key thing. We need to be fully rested. 79 hours per night quiets our amygdala. Otherwise, we aren't able to stay calm. Did you know that only 30% of the people get the rest that they need? Wow, we have a lot of work to do. And let's sharpen our saws, pay ourselves first, and continue to fill our cups. Purposeful living fosters healthy relationships, intentional conversations, and transformational lives. Remember to celebrate many victories. Every conscious decision is worth a little celebration. And live a life of learning, not warning. Do the best that you can. Give yourself grace. And when you can do more, do better. It was so great connecting with you. Life is better when we live, learn, and grow together.